Hey, welcome back everyone, Toyshiz here, and I am back yet again with yet another Super 7 Ultimates video, and today comes courtesy of my friends over at Super 7. This is a look at the first wave of their company-owned The Worst action figures, featuring Captain Deadstar, the Cosmic Ghoul Renegade. Look at that artwork on the front of that box. Very cool. I accidentally didn't take photos. That's all I got, so I'm using all the digital renders. Super 7 makes it very hard not to throw their packaging out sometimes. As much as I don't like to keep packaging, I was like, I'm just going to get rid of them. No problem. And then I go, oh, wait, I didn't even take photos. But here's Captain Deadstar. And then on the supernatural side of things, I guess you could say, we have Batula. And he is the evil Bat Prince of Darkness. Who knows if he's evil? I'm just saying he looks evil, right? He's one of the head portraits, got a face full of blood. He could be a totally nice guy. Maybe he's just a misunderstood Batman. Who knows? But in either case, this is going to be fun. This is going to be something different. I'm actually having a really nice time looking at all these various different action figures from all these different companies. It's not the same old, you know? So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it too. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the worst Batula, the evil Bat Prince of Darkness, and Captain Deadstar, the ghoulish cosmic rum-drinking guy, by Super 7. Now, while I got all you cosmic ghouls here, I just want to say thanks so much for always checking out my YouTube videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you like. Maybe you'll even find the worst, right? Who knows? But speaking of the worst, fingers crossed that these are actually cool figures and not the worst, you know what I mean? You're treading on thin ice there. Let's just hope they're good. First and foremost, you got Batula. He comes with a book, kind of a Bible, maybe, kind of, sort of. It's got an upside-down cross on it. Very befitting of a vampire. Don't be surprised. A lot of these little pieces, especially the hands, you get paint flecking off. But it unclasps. That's pretty cool. It's a nice touch. And inside you can put a blood-filled flask or just a little bottle, right? Just a little nightcap right there. But I like it. It's definitely wild, especially that sort of book to have this going on. Nice paint overall. It's just a nice little touch. That's not the worst so far, right? That's pretty cool. And then he comes with a really nice goblet. I've already put the hand on there. That's something I've actually started doing. I just leave hands on that I like specific accessories. I swap them out real easy. Again, don't be surprised. Little paint flecks off. I like the blood inside this little chalice, right? That's cool. Nicely ornated. Little red here and there amidst the gold. It's a little crooked. Got a little warped in the package. I'll have to heat that out. I just wanted to show it to you firsthand. But it can be heated up. It can be fixed. It's got a bit of a ring on this finger. That could have been a lot better painted, I'll tell you that. I don't even know what it was. And then he totally comes with a pair of hands that are flipping the bat. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. They are the worst, right? They're jerks. But it's cool. He also comes with a pair of fisted hands. And he comes with, I'm assuming it's like a bone cane or a sword sheath. Kind of. I took it as a cane first and foremost. And then, of course, he yanked the head off. And it's got a sword or a blade in there, which is nice. It's totally different. But I wish that, well, I'll show you later. He doesn't exactly hold it well. But the extra head portraits are fantastic. Nice grays. This one's all bloodied, like he just chomped into somebody, right? I like his teeth. It's very cool. It's a nice, cool design. The blues and the grays really bring this character to life. And then this is my favorite head portrait out of all of them. He's got those sun blocker glasses, like old folks, right? I got a pair of those myself. They're pretty fashionable. But I absolutely love that. That is just awesome. It's like he went to Vegas and he's having a bloodbath, right? And the figure itself, Batula, here he is. He's nicely painted. Nice. Overall, you see the difference between the two head portraits. These are pretty much the same, except for blood, right? Different expression, of course. Mouth is open. Nice little gold chain. Got this big red flowing cape. It's actually a lot larger. It kind of folds up, right? But it's got a nice wire, bendy wire in there, and you can get the cape doing all kinds of batty stuff, right? Very cool. I like that. That's a nice touch. It's a well-made cape. So I definitely appreciate that. For you Doctor Strange fans out there, maybe you might be able to do something with that. You can't really slip it over his head. You really have to pull the heads off to make it work. You don't want to rip anything, tear anything. The head portraits, at least on Batula, come off pretty easy, I have to say. There's really no problems. But without the cape, he just becomes like a guy in a suit with the bolo tie kind of thing. And he's got bare feet. It's very dapper Bat, I will tell you that. We look at a lot of McFarlane Batmans here, but this is a true man-bat Batman, right? And you get minimal articulation in the head, right? The paint could have been a little bit better, especially on the bolo tie. It's a little sloppy right there. This is one of those articulation cuts. I don't really think it doesn't do anything. It just kind of twists him a little bit, but I think it breaks it up way too much. The arms will go out. He does have a bicep, right? He does have single jointed elbows, and then the wrists, of course, will spin. The one thing I'll say about the arms, and unfortunately in the feet, right? We'll get to that in just a second. He's a little bit loose, and that is over and over a big problem with Super 7 figures. Like in the wrists right here, you really don't have to pull them out, but his hands will come out pretty easily. Almost like a Mafex, I will say. That's just across the board, I think, for Super 7. You gotta tighten these things up somehow, some way. The legs will go off to the side. This is one of those figures where the articulation is fine for what it is. He has a little bit of a rubber crotch piece. The legs have single jointed knees. They will spin at the knee. As with the elbows also spin. And he's got some bare feet rocker. Big old bat feet right there. But unfortunately, those are a little bit loose too, so that when you're posing him, he always wants to go forward. He doesn't necessarily fall all the time, but it's too loose for a brand new figure. Nice articulation, but across the board, you gotta work on the loose joints, Super 7. Come on. But in terms of the Cosmic Ghoul, we have Captain Deadstar. He comes with a ton of accessories, like a lot more than Batula, I'm just saying. But he does come with a pair of open hands. He comes with a fisted hand and a weapon holding hand. And I went ahead and just left the weapon holding hand on the giant flaming sword, which is amazing. That is very cool. I love that. I love the way the flame, a little bit of orange in there. That's cool. That is definitely befitting of a Skeleton Pirates man. And then he comes with a bottle of booze and then one of those giant turkey drumsticks from Disneyland or your local county fair, right? But you know it's booze or moonshine because it's got 3 X's on it, right? You ain't waking up pretty after that. I like when action figures come with food. That's cool. And then you get a quill from your parrot, right? So you can write out your shit list. Right, and you can cross off all the things you don't like on said list. The good guys. And you can leave your mom in the living and all that kind of stuff. It's a nice little notepad. I like the little quill, right? Or you could say the feather, right? With the little ink on it. That's a nice touch. It also comes with a thermal detonator from Han Solo and a skeleton key. Get it? Both are done nicely. Nice little wash here on the skeleton key. And on the thermal detonator, it's got a little bit of red paint. That's cool. The key, however, might be able to unlock another accessory coming up. But the head portraits on this Captain is awesome. You get a little bit of a Evil T-1000 kind of Terminator look right there with like a gold eye, and then you get more of a laughing, open-mouthed eye patched. And I love this. This is just hands down, that's amazing. Love the head portraits on this guy. He comes with 2 Iagos, one of them with the arms out, and nice color, nice feathering. Each one has a peg. You can actually peg it into his shoulder. That's a nice touch as well. Very cool. I like both of these, and I like how both of their eyes are X'd out, right? Like the booze bottle. Again, pretty perfect. He also comes with an interplanetary map full of the galaxy, right? All the different spots he's going to be hitting. It's okay. It's just a piece of paper, a little bit of a graphic on there. It's just all right. It's not my favorite accessory by any means. And like I said, you take the skeleton key and you can open up the lock, right? That'd be cool if you could have actually done that. Put the key in the lock, but it's a treasure chest. And just like Link would do, yeah, you can open up said treasure chest And it's pretty cool. Nice big open chest. You can put lots of accessories in there, especially ones you don't want to lose. You can close it. Nice touch. Perfect for a pirate. I will say that. And the Captain Deadstar himself. I got to give it to him. This is not immediately something I would go for, but I kept seeing it. I'm like, that's really interesting. I have to check this out in hand. And I'm glad that I did, because I really like his cape. Much like Batula, it's got a bendy wire in there, and it's just a really nice little accent right there. It's kind of like when he first shows up on camera. Right? Oh, he's got a big flowing cape. It's got some Velcro. I like that. It's really easy to take off and on. And the figure himself is very cool. It's a very different sort of figure, but it's a very fun figure. And I really like his techno-organic peg leg right there. And he's got the gloves, and he's got all these little costume indentations, and I love it. Wrinkles. He's got a gun, and he has a holster for it. And this right here, I think, is where the design, like we most recently looked at the Troy McClure reaction figures from the Simpsons line, and they had a few design flaws here and there on one of the Troys. This one is kind of the same, because it has a part of the gun that once you slip it into the holster, you kind of have to like pinch the rubberized holster to get it out. You see how much trouble I had there. It's because that little top part on the front end of the gun right there, it's hard to get out unless you take the precautionary steps of kind of pinching it, because it'll get stuck every single time you want to yank the gun out. And right here, which is pretty cool, he's got a little peg right here on his shoulder. You can put the parrot in. Both of them fit nicely. I'll show you all that in just a few. And overall, as far as the articulation goes, just the overall look is perfect. The articulation is fine for what it is. It is more of that minimalistic Super 7 articulation, but it does the trick in terms of this type of figure. But unlike Batula, I will say the wrists definitely do peg in a lot better. He is very loose in the waist, though. As you can see, it's just a bummer. It's across the board for a lot of Super 7 lines. And especially up here in this top part, what's even the point of that? It doesn't do anything. Just leave that out. It would have looked a lot better, right? Less breaking up of this awesome sculpt. The legs go off to the side just like that. They won't go too high. Again, he's got more of a rubber diaper, which is totally fine. Again, I'm going to say the amount of articulation points that he has totally works for me. He's got single jointed knees. They'll spin at the knee on both sides. So if you go peg leg, yeah, single jointed and it'll spin. And then at the boot right here on the other side, he does have some rock. It'll go up, down, left, right. So again, enough to really pose him out. But I will tell you, the one major problem with this guy is that he can be a little bit loose in the legs unless you get him standing really well, because the peg leg seems to be just a tad shorter, which, yeah, that's fine. But it's when you try to stand him up, you really got to situate him good, or else, yeah, he's going to go toppling over. But again, loose in the waist right here, this upper diaphragm thing, I don't get that. You could just leave it off. Leave it off on both. Just saying. But what really makes these figures, and then what also kind of detracts from the figures, are the accessories, oddly enough. Like, this is hilarious. This is awesome. I love the way that this looks. Chowing down on a turkey leg, spiking your own goblet of blood, right? Totally fine. But then you see, like, let's say on the collector end, right? These are higher end, especially in the price points. He's holding the gun, but he has no trigger finger, which it looks good, but when you start looking at the little nuances, why doesn't he have a trigger finger? And that's been certain things I brought up with TMNT Ultimates before. And then right here with this sword, bone, staff thing or whatever, he doesn't hold. There's no place for him to hold it. There's no hands. There's no area. It's just like a giant skull that is a blade. He can hold the sheath, we'll just say. But you get what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, you didn't really think that out. You know what I mean? I like what they did with the humor, though. I like that he can flip us all off, flip us the bats, right? Flip us the bird. That's funny. And I like that they give him a shit list. That's funny, too. I'm totally on board. When it makes sense and it adds to this, it's great. But then he can't really hold the quill, right? Or the parrot feather. It doesn't look right. He's just kind of gripping the feather. So again, a lot of these really cool accessories really work, but then they're really not functional at the same time. And if you were wondering in terms of the scalature, Well, they're around that 7-inch mark, right? Captain Deadstar is a little bit taller than Batula. So they'll go well. We'll say if you want to pair them up, I don't know why you would. Master Universe, especially Masterverse, McFarlane Toys, anything more in that 7-inch scale will totally work. Marvel Legends, they're too tall. Totally different sort of art style. But I like looking at these in terms of these are very different. They're very standalone. It's Super 7's own little brand, the worst. It's cool. It totally works. And these specific characters, these two, kind of remind me of Ninja Turtle villains in a way. Like I could totally see these from the different iterations of the Turtles. So for that, I think they look good with the Ultimates, to be honest with you. So that will wrap it up for my look at the first wave of Super 7's The Worst action figures. And I am very happy to say that they are definitely not the worst. They're the furthest from that. But they really, really need to work on loose joints. And then in some cases, having all these awesome accessories makes sense in the totality of the figure. And in this case, mainly just holding said accessories. That's what I would like them to work on. But other than that, they're a lot of fun. They're definitely a conversation piece. They're a little bit high in price point. I'm going to say that. But at least there's something different, and I'm definitely having fun with them. So you've heard my thoughts. Now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything the worst. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, have a fantastic weekend. Just live it up and just try to avoid Monday for as long as you can. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.